Hey, my elevators. It is Elle Beecham, owner, creator, and the founder of the Elevate Movement, which is a naturopathic approach to mental health. It's been probably, I don't know, a week or two since I have posted a video. But I've kind of been dealing with some things in the past 2 weeks. I made a video about placeholders, removing placeholders in your life, which are nouns, people, places, things, ideas, or ideologies that keep you stagnated, that are not, for your greater good, and are not instrumental in you becoming your highest self. With that being said, I pay attention to my surroundings, my environment, the people in my life, the places I go, the conversations that I have. Like, I can always go back and be like, aha, like, I see what you're doing, God. Like, I get it. So I have about 6 or 7, different experiences and things that I've witnessed, recently. So I have been engulfed with this show called Married at First Sight, Love at First Sight. These are dating shows where strangers come together and they try to, pair, like professional psychologists try to pair them based on their personalities and likes and interests. And also, their areas of opportunity, they try to pair them with someone that's completely opposite, that can do like a drawing out or a pulling so that the other person grows, which is a great philosophy and ideology, because two people that are alike don't need to marry each other. We need to be alike in some ways, but our differences need to be the glue that holds us together, that allows us to pull and tug. It's like a give and take, and we get to enhance the other person, or be instrumental, in their enhancement and evolvement. With that being said, I saw a Facebook post that was about a soulmate and the ingredients that, was necessary to have a soulmate, the types of conversations, effective and efficient communication, what it looks like to give and receive roses, having deep depth, meaningful conversations. Like, I've just been seeing all this stuff and I'm just like, okay, like, okay. Then I saw a podcast. This podcast is called Dear Future Wife, where Thaddeus Whitfield, my classmate, is interviewing couples, and they give, their tidbits on what has worked for them. And God has called him to work, through our community and to reach masses of people with different inspirations, because he believes in love, and he believes in relationships, and he believes in a lot of traditional ideologies that serve certain demographics. I agree with some of the things that he talks about. And then the last thing, my mentor called upon me to actually challenge me to be present in a way that I have not wanted to be present in. And that way is to work with women. So when I initially started my practice, when I moved back to Dallas about 3 years ago, I was only working with women. Then maybe for a year, my practice started to take a beeline, and I only had a male presence, with my clients. And those clients, would range from, ages 17 up to, men in their 60s, who lacked, self-esteem, assurance, friendship, companionship, authenticity in their relationships. They weren't happy in their relationships. There were, guys who, was looking for validation, needed to, heal the little boy and deal with the little boy, that angry little boy, the little boy, who wasn't hugged, the little boy who wasn't actually told, like, I love you and I see you and I appreciate you, as a kid growing up. Well, this same person grows up as an adult, has children, has a wife, has to give all of these things, to their person, but didn't really, do a pulse check within. So they come to counseling and they show up in front of me, and I have to go back and unpack that bag and then help them to repack their suitcase now with, this person that you see before you, who shows up as, the career guy, the dad, as the husband. But really, I'm in the background, ensuring that he's put together every week, giving him tools to keep in his tool bag so that he learns to manage and go through life, as a healthier person than the person that, came to me for help. And then lastly, I was challenged by my mentor. I had a conversation with my mentor maybe 2 weeks ago, and he was like, I see you. I said, you've always seen me. So what do you mean by I see you? Well, I know that you want to keep a low profile and you don't want to get out there, and you feel like some of your work is not the work, but the work that you're being called to do is what you don't want to do. Like, where your passion and purpose is going to meet and align is the work that you don't want to do. So, I am learning to be obedient when I hear things, and when things come up in synchronicities, the miracle signs and wonders, paying attention to my environment, the things that people tell me. I'm paying attention to these things because I understand that it's bigger than me. So, what he sees me doing, and a couple of other people have confirmed with this whole cocktails and conversation movement that I've ignited again. Women need to know that in the interim of dating and in between relationships, what to do with the hurt so that they don't become bitter, what to do with those broken pieces, because broken crayons still color. Like, that's a thing. We got to understand that broken crayons still color. They still have vivid colors and imagery. They can still paint a pretty picture. But so many times we get so caught up in the right now that we can't see the down the line. We can't see the future. We can't see our future. And most of the time, women have this thing where it's easy for us to tell somebody else what they should be doing, and then we don't take, that same advice. So imposter syndrome, is a real thing. Using the cliche words of doing the work, trusting the process, being patient. We know what to say, but we don't really know what that looks like. We don't really know what that work looks like, because sometimes when you get in there and you're doing these things, it can be super hard to talk yourself down off of a ledge and you just want to jump or give up or go back to an old habit. So being able to really be at peace in your own home that you've created until, your person comes. See, because I just believe that the reason some of us, are single is because we still have work that we need to do. God is not going to bless you with your eternal person and you haven't done the work. Like, you're just going to ruin them or damage them too, and give them another bag to carry that's not even theirs. See, when you find a good partner, this partner is able to help you unpack your bag and hold your hand and facilitate your growth process, but they understand that it's yours. They don't take it on as theirs. And often, we look for our person to fill these voids and holes and, so much stuff that like they just didn't give us. And it's not fair for them to have to do. So the work that I've been challenged with is to keep curating this cocktails and conversation, to give people the tools, because I'm learning that it's so hard for people to look at the glass half full. I used to be her. I used to find only the negative in everything. Like, I didn't have anything good to say about nothing. I could advise everybody else, but when it came time for me to do the work and look at myself in the mirror, that was a very hard situation to do. Like, That was something hard to overcome. But now that I'm at peace and I can be at home alone and don't have to, have company and always going and doing things, it makes me appreciate the times when I do have company. It makes me appreciate the times when I am out and I'm, amongst friends and loved ones and I'm being social. But I also understand the importance of balance, of not doing any of that, of eating at home, of cooking me, a healthy meal and being solo. So the calling is to help women in this interim process and understand that even though it doesn't look like what you want it to look like, it could be another way. Like it could be so much worse than what it is. So I guess I'm about to put some things together to get some women together so that we can become a support system for one another and love one another through sisterhood and stories, not necessarily wounds, because I do want us to understand that there is a difference in wound bonding and sisterhood. I don't know that I want a sisterhood of just Me Too stories because we all have that same wound. I want someone that have different scars because I get to learn from their story. I don't necessarily have to experience, and I don't have to have that same scar in order for me to look at them to be like, I can learn something from them. So, there's beauty in conversation and community and gathering that I would like to fuel and facilitate this process. So I do have a huge announcement as far as my Texas licensure. I'm excited about it, but I hadn't quite got the words because of, what I went through around this time last year. So yeah. What I will say though before I end this video is continue to be your authentic self. Even when you are going through times and there are trying times, everything we want is on the other side of fear. Everything we desire and want to be, we can absolutely be, but it's the consistency and the intentionality. So continuing to just chip at it, right? Just keep working at this thing little by little, and you'll look up and a year or two later something happens. Like when I first got to Texas and I applied for my Texas licensure, the application process was gruesome. It was, oh my God. I just kept getting denied, like denied. And I was like, this is not about to break my spirit. I had to continue working, continue dealing with clients, continue, finding jobs, continue inspiring people and motivating people and allowing people to come and showing up. Even when I was going through my personal bouts of, defamation of character, still show up, still be who you gonna be, still be big, still be bold, still be grand, because that's who you are. Like, you grand. And I had to understand, still do my skincare regimens, baby. This skin is flawless. Do you hear me? Flawless. I'm talking about spots and skincare regimen. Oh my God. But I've been challenged, and I had to continue, and I had to persevere. Whether I cried and I was down on my butt, I had to get up. Whether I didn't have or didn't want to, I had to get up and keep going. Whether I didn't have the love in me, what I understand is allowing myself to love the people that come into my life, because it's not by happenstance. Whether we still talk, communicate, date, be together, like, that doesn't matter. But in that moment, I have to do what God is calling me to do, and that's to love and to keep loving. Keep loving. One thing I want to leave you with is, no matter what, your experience with one person may not be your experience with somebody else. I've had some beautiful experiences with some people, but I've also had some ugly experiences with some people. So what? That don't mean that I'm ugly. It just means that they got a part of me that I may not be proud of, or, maybe our spirits didn't jive well. But whatever it is, like, That's their experience, but that doesn't define who I am in totality. That may be a small piece of me. That may be the experience that I shared with them. Who knows? But what I'm here to tell you is keep showing up as your authentic self. Keep stretching yourself. Keep spreading love. Keep doing you, because the truth will prevail. You will have blessings on top of blessings. You can't tell me that I'm not telling the truth, because this whole licensure thing, it took me 2 years. 2 years. So I'm telling you what I know to be true. So continue to do the work. Continue to be kind on purpose. Continue to be kind to yourself. Continue to love. Continue to value every experience as a learning experience, to teach you something about you. Every experience is to show you you. Don't blame the other person. This is a you thing. Every experience is a you thing, because you chose them for a reason. You entertained them for a reason. Whatever, it was for a reason. So until my next video, elevators, I'm just so happy. Thank you for listening to my videos. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for, asking the questions, or even giving me content, asking a question and I turned it into a YouTube video. I just thank you for everything. So until my next video, be grateful. Enjoy your Friday.